Hey everyone, Pesmori here, and welcome to Trials of Innocence. Just when we saw a glimmer of hope, another eyewitness appears! Calm down. There is more than one eyewitness in this case. We have known that since yesterday. The reason we're so passive is because we still don't know what Galaxy did that day. Why do we always encounter such uncooperative defendants? He literally said the walls have ears, man. He's being watched and listened on. No, it's not that Galaxy doesn't want to cooperate, but he has some hidden secrets. I really want to ask him about his relationship with Kujio, but unfortunately, I can't do that right now. Are the staff from Neon still around? Well, there are fewer now. They're probably all watching all over Galaxy. Chief, I'm really curious. What's Justice Kaida really up to? Is he concerned about Galaxy's safety and hoping we win the trial? I don't know, man. He might be. What was the name again? The name of the first. I don't know. What's his name? Like, he might be the head of Sky Shield, like the first one, like number one. You know, he might be. After all, with his people watching, even Sis doesn't dare to put too much pressure on us. Indeed, this trial segment was the easiest among the confrontations with your sister. But why is he also preventing us from contacting Galaxy? What does he really want? To be honest, our country's judicial system independence cannot be interfered with by anyone, even if it's the President of the United States of America, let alone Neon, which has less power than our country. The personnel present can, at most, make both sides proceed more cautious when presenting evidence due to diplomatic influences. Are you saying he's going to such lengths just to ensure a fair verdict for his son? Were it so easy. The Vice President's behavior is so... What the heck is that? Ostentatious. It seems less about winning the case and more about monitoring everything. Does that mean there might be some unfavorable information to him hidden in the case? Oh yeah, that's for sure, man. But our focus today is not him. Oh, it seems your mind is still clear, cutie. Oh! Oh my god! Okay, take a screenshot, guys. This is very nice. I was not expecting this. Detective Stanford, you're still here, wishing far across these new frontiers. Not by my choice. This is Randy, my son. It's his first time to the courthouse. He insists on taking a stroll around here. I'm just saying, do you not remember what happened in case 4? I think as long as Sky Shield has a hint of involvement, you should not bring the courthouse is not safe anywhere. Not inside, not outside. You know, it was just lucky that no one was close by the courthouse. Imagine if there was just one unlucky person nearby. Annie would have obliterated him. Robo Annie would have obliterated him or her or any unlucky soul there. You should not have brought him. Is this boy? Oh yeah, it is. He's got his mother's eyes and hair. You just can't tell. Nice to meet you. So energetic. Am I old? You're younger than her, if that helps. So cute! Detective Sanford! Is this the mysterious Randy? Mysterious? Like, you could have just asked Tessa, like, for a photo of Randy. Pretty sure she would have been happy to show you. Though if it were me asking that, she probably would have tased me. And, to be honest, she should. Wait, what? Pause. I do not mean it like that. I mean it like, if a stranger asks to see your child's photo, you should tase him, no matter the reason. Oh boy. Now I'm gonna need a lawyer. Mysterious? Randy, come here and introduce yourself. Yeah, my name is Skyrim Stone, 4.5 years old. My mommy and daddy are both police officers. I want to be one too. Yeah, please don't. Please don't. Yeah, also you got matching attires, it's very nice, but please don't. Please. Wow, what an ambition! Quite a unique self-introduction. Detective Sanford, why did you bring Randy to the courthouse today? And he's put down. Okay. I have to. The kindergarten closed early because of the upcoming spring festival. You could have just hired a babysitter. Or maybe you watched The Incredibles and got scared that might happen. I mean, it could happen, but like, trust me, it's probably more dangerous in the courtroom. I forgot what I read. Sexier client, I can't rest even after the ribbon cutting ceremony, so I have to bring him along. This is the first time I've seen Detective Sanford being so gentle. So, Detective Sanford, did you also take Randy to the Skyrim Trade Center yesterday? Yeah, I couldn't go up to the upper district. I forgot what it's called. Honey District? Ah. Whatever. Yeah. Instead of leaving him alone at home, it's better to leave him to bring him to my place. At least many of my subordinates are around. It was supposed to be a routine security job. Who would have expected something like this would happen? It's really bad luck. Yeah, sure. Mommy, are you talking about that huge building? Yeah, right. Didn't you say that the building was beautiful? Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of frames, by the way. It's almost as smooth as what's her name, Zoe curling her hair. Almost. This is still not as smooth. Yeah, I I saw something really, really amazing in the building. Wow, really, really amazing. Please don't say anything related to the crime. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Yeah, Mommy, you'll be surprised. I hope not. Please don't. Really, really amazing? Could it be related to the case? Please no. Don't involve him in it. Huh? You're overthinking it. Ha ha. Randy didn't even leave the first floor that day. How could it be related to the case? Yeah, did you see that super beautiful glass house? It's all transparent. Really, really amazing. So it's just a transparent sightseeing elevator. Oh wait, so it's just a transparent sightseeing elevator. And nothing else, right? Well, it's about time. I don't have much to do here today. So I'm gonna go now. There's still 2 peculiar things on Kujio to investigate. I have to go back to the bureau this afternoon. Still 2? How can that piece of clothing hold so much? Could those 2 things be significant to the case? If so, you would have figured them out before the trial today, no matter what. So there's something that may or may not be related to the case. Probably him. I hope not though. More or less. Alright, Randy, say goodbye to them. Goodbye! Please don't die. You know, the phrase like father like son, and your father's dead, please don't die. Detective Sanford is completely different with their son around. Parents. The hardships are beyond our imagination, especially considering what she has been through. Speaking of which, the next witness would reveal information about Galaxy's handling of the body, right? Yeah. According to Prosecutor Schubert's tone, it seems that the credibility of the witness's testimony will be very high. So, Galaxy moved Kujio's body from the crime scene? If the crime scene was on the 101st floor, and the body ended up on the top floor, it's inevitable that someone moved the body. But let's spare the speculation before we hear the testimony. It's about time. Let's go back. Alright, let's maintain our momentum in the second half and refute all the prosecution's claims as much as possible. After a 15-minute recess, I hope both sides are ready. Now, courts will reconvene for the trial of Mr. Galaxy Kaida. Is the witness mentioned by the prosecution ready to testify? Yes, anytime. As mentioned earlier, this witness happened to see the defendant handling the body by a stroke of luck. Handling a body is something that people would like to hide. What a coincidence. In that case, bring him to the stand now. I present the Vice President of the fuck! That guy! Oh man. I present the Vice President of the Chinese Poetry Association and Master of Traditional Literature, Gu Guyo. I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's President Goo! Huh. We might be in for a rough time. This witness looks quite special. Witness, may I ask if you're a fortune teller? Can you give me a divination by my date and time of birth? Ahem. Sorry, let's continue. Just now, Prosecutor Rain mentioned that you are a master of traditional literature. Sorry, this song is more than just good. It's making it has the Far Cry 5 vibes, and it's making me remember that game. Say what you want about Far Cry 5, but what do I have to say about it? I love that game. I kind of want to play it again. I miss it so much. And also the memories, like, you know, now I'm just older and depressed. I mean, I was also depressed back then, but it's way worse now. I mean, what? Oh, okay. Dang it, Far Cry 5, why did you... Sorry, President Goo, why did you make me remember Far Cry 5? Sorry, let's continue. Just now, Prosecutor Rain mentioned that you are a master of traditional literature? You flatter me. As the ancestors said, the strong grass is known by the fierce wind, and the loyal minister by times of turmoil. I, Goo, am but a humble scholar with shallow learning, lack broad knowledge. I am unworthy of the high halls of refinement. Such praise, alas, I cannot bear. I beseech thee, noble sir, to show me mercy. No, you're too modest. The moment he started speaking, I have a premonition that the upcoming questioning will be a disaster. Oh yeah, for sure it is. I'm gonna crash out, you know? But I must remind you that hats and sunglasses are not allowed in the courtroom. Your attire... well... The witness is of an advanced age, and due to a medical condition, his eyes and skin are extremely sensitive to bright light. Sounds like that one Jujutsu Kaisen character. The mecha guy. Mekamaru? Was that his name? As he said, this attire is in accordance with medical advice, and he has submitted a formal application before appearing in court. I see. Since it's a health issue, the court will no longer insist. President Goo, do you know why you're standing here? The law, sir, is the rule of the land, the model of all things. Am I summoned here today to uphold justice and righteousness? Oh, uphold justice and righteousness? I feel like my soul is about to ignite! Please control yourself and put down the gavel. It's not time to give a verdict. But if it is, say innocent. According to the prosecution, you witnessed the scene where the defendant was handling the body, right? Indeed, the fright I have suffered is no small matter, and thus my memory remains vivid and fresh. If thou desirest the full account, I ask thee to be patient and hear me out at length. Please know. I goo goo low. Goo goo goo. Okay. I goo goo a gay. I'm so bad at names. Goo goo. I'm just gonna call you Vice President Goo. I, Vice President Goo, a lowly being, find myself honored by esteemed individuals to partake in this sacred event. Oh, that morn, by fortuitous chance, I stand upon the rooftop. Lo and behold, a scene of horror unfolded before my eyes. Mine eyes. As I gazed upon it closely, there lay a woman upon the steps. Her hair was twisted, a sight impressive to behold. Nearby stood a strange figure, attired in black and white, with an angry face, knocking on the door, the sound sharp and clear. I must confess, though I am well past the age of 50, I still hold a certain fear of things beyond the mortal realm. After that moment, a single thought arose in my mind. Is he black and white the ghost messenger? In my mind, I turned and fled. Why you gotta be racist, bruh? Like, come on. As I descended the stairs, a sudden realization dawned upon me. The place upon which I stood was none other than the rooftop. The ancients have said, spirits dislike noise. With so many people present, no spirit could linger undetected in this place. This testimony is like an exciting libretto. Libretto? Is that all? My literature is, well, kinda bad, so I got a bit confused. Considering the difficulty in understanding the witness's testimony, I'll summarize it briefly. The witness arrived at the rooftop in the early morning and saw Kujio's body and person banging on the door, the defendant. Due to the defendant's unique attire, the witness mistook him for supernatural beings and hastily left out of fear. Ah, I got it. Forgive me, I have spoken in this manner for decades, which doth make it difficult for me to speak in the modern terms. Hey man, it's better than Galaxy. Look at that sad sap. Saying YOLO and shit. He directly witnessed the defendant carrying the body and banging on the door. This is worse than I imagined. President Gu, did you notice anything else after the ribbon-cutting ceremony started? During the ceremony, I didn't realize that the man speaking on the stage was the strange figure I had seen, the accused. Shortly after, the female body didn't descend from above, causing the assembled guests to turn pale and hereby flee. If it was only then that I woke from my stupor and realized the earlier event was no act of demons, but a heinous murder. This president, despite being afraid of ghosts, shows no fear in the face of murder. Yes, very verily, due to the woman's warrior swiftness and resolute nature, unnecessary complications were averted. Upon reflection, I realized that my experience might be of some aid and thus sought out the officers to report it truthfully. The woman warrior should be Detective Sanford. He was indeed searching for her on the day of the incident. In that case, President Gu is a righteous person who helps the police and repays kindness. Your praise is too high. I am but fulfilling my duty. In that case, defense, do you understand the meaning of this testimony now? The witness saw the defendant attempting to take the body to the rooftop. His testimony matches the trace at the scene perfectly. This is indeed a compelling testimony. I can't imagine why the defendant would go to such lengths if he were not the real culprit. The witness's statement is not only firm and powerful, but very detailed. Doesn't seem like a lie. It's getting bad. How do you move the body to the rooftop, Galaxy? Why did you move it to the rooftop, dumbass? Our communication with the defendant has been restricted since the incident, so we are hearing lots of details for the first time. To be cautious, before reaching any conclusions, we should thoroughly seek the witness's testimony. Reasonable. Witness, are you ready? Yes, I shall speak without concealment.
Wait a sec.
I want to confirm that why you were invited to the ribbon cutting. Why were you invited to the ribbon cutting ceremony? I made mention upon this upon our first encounter. The several pieces of calligraphy adorning this building are of my own creation. 23 to be precise. All of the calligraphy detailed and guided inscriptions inside the building are the works of President Gu. What did I read again? Okay, I read that. Whether considering social status or contributions to this building, President Gu is worthy of being invited. Compared to President Gu, I suddenly feel like we were just there to fill the numbers. Weren't we? The ancients wrote with a grace that soared like floating clouds. I aspire toward them and have studied diligently. Over time, I have made some modest progress, hence my title, Lushman Hermit. My invitation was likely due to this. But let us return to the matter at hand. If you have further questions, I shall answer truthfully.
Wait a sec.
By fortuitous chance. What kind of chance led you to the rooftop? I came here by what I heard. And I left by what I saw. What do you mean? To the rooftop I went, driven by fancy, an unplanned deed. As Wang Wei, a Chinese poet, wrote in his poem, "Why do you reach the end of the water? Sit and watch the clouds rise." Since I had come, I have decided to remain. It was, after all, a chance encounter without any impropriety. I don't understand those lines of poetry, but there are no numbers on the button that leads to the rooftop, only a letter T. I don't think interest is enough to make you buy that press the ambiguous button.
Objection!
Literati like the witness love going to the rooftop to overlook the scenery. Don't you know that? The point now was that Professor Gu went to the entrance of the rooftop and witnessed the defendants attempting to hide the body. Well, let it go. Luna, it's difficult to undermine the credibility of the testimony given by the witness's route. Questioning the witness's route.
Wait a sec.
Was the woman with twisted hair the victim of this case? What I know, I know. What I do not know, I cannot claim. To demand of me certainty is to demand too much. Why? First, I beheld this woman for the initial time in her selfless state. I had no chance to acquaint myself with her. 'Tis oft said, her face is gone, but the peach blossoms still smile in the spring breeze. The most sorrowful sight indeed. I don't understand. Me neither. Second, this circumstance doth instill fear within me, and my inclination to keenly observe hath waned. Though I briefly glanced at her, I remain unable to ascertain if she'll be the ill-fated woman. The mystery remains unsolved. Let me have a try. You mean, although it looked like her, you're not 100% sure? Exactly. The witness's words are very cautious. It's not necessarily a bad thing for us. The victim was the only one meeting his description. There's nothing about the sussy about the identity of the body.
Wait a
Can I
sec.
do this one? Oh, I did.
Wait a sec.
Are you sure he's the defendant? Galaxy Kaida. Is there the slightest possibility he's not? One promise to others is weightier than 1,000 taels of gold. A gentleman shall ensure the veracity of his discourse. Upon the name of my father, who fought valiantly in the Korean War, I doth swear the mine eyes do not deceive me. So he lives in a family of military. Why are you so certain? Though I was frightened, the spectacle etched a deep imprint upon the canvas of my memory. Regarding this man, I am certain beyond all doubt. Can you give us more details about what happened after the defendant banged on the door? This places me in some difficulty, for I swiftly departed in haste, leaving little room for further contemplation. Might be an impossible clue in this case, so please try to recall as much as possible. If you insist. As the door burst open, what the heck is that word? Whatever. Didn't lower the woman's body from the rooftop, intending to promptly depart.
Wait a sec.
Things beyond the mortal realm? Verily, from the stories of old, spirits and demons are rarely benevolent, often talking on strange forms and causing trouble. Phantoms and foul fiends, or phantom and thieves. I fear them deeply. On stormy nights where demons invade my dreams, it's so awful. I'm getting confused. What the heck are you on about? I have no utterly useless words. Hear me out fully and I shall explain.
Wait a sec.
Are you saying you mistook the defendant for Black and White, the ghost messenger? 'Tis oft said, the ghost messenger absorbs the yin soul and disperses the yang soul. To the best of my knowledge, Black and White, the ghost messenger, works for the king of hell, with the duty of ensnaring souls. The woman was surely dead, and the man's attire closely resembled the description of the ghost messenger in the ancient texts. How could I not be filled with fear, given the circumstances? Wait! Black and white, the ghost messengers referred to two individuals, the black messenger and the white messenger. How could you mistake one person for two? Two? The black is in charge of yin, the white yang. We only call them black and white, the ghost messenger, when they work together. This is more mainstream understanding in literary works. I see now. Each age brings forth new talents, who reign for for hundreds of years. Verily, the ancients deceive me not. Young Master Schubert is indeed a prodigy. I have much to learn from him. I am humbled. You overpraised me. Isn't that common knowledge? The Master's understanding is really strange. Your common knowledge all comes from fantasy and history dramas. Of course a master like him wouldn't give a shit about that kind of thing. Is that so?
Wait a sec.
After rushing down the stairs, you realized you were on the rooftop of the building. Verily, mine eyes beheld the banners and the esteemed visitors, whereupon I discerned that I have arrived on the 180th floor. Did you directly head towards the multifunction hall without any hesitation along the way? Nah, at the time my thoughts were in such disarray, I could not ponder upon where I was headed. I merely followed the ancient wisdom. Reflect spirits, but keep thy distance.
Wait a sec.
After rushing down the stairs, you realized that you were on the rooftop of the building. Verily, mine eyes hold the banners and the esteemed visitors, whereupon I discerned that I have arrived on the 180th floor. Did you directly hit your head towards the multifunction without any hesitation along the way? Nay, at the time my thoughts were in such disarray, I could not ponder upon where I was heading. I merely followed the ancient wisdom. Respect spirits, but keep thy distance. Okay.
Wait a sec.
I don't quite understand it. Could you explain it a bit more? Where there are many people, the energy of yang prevails, and it repels spirits. Having reached this place, I feel at ease. As the saying goes, money and refrigerators seem to be blown away. Wait, did I click? I felt at ease. As the saying goes, mountains and rivers seemed to block my path, but suddenly beyond the willows, there was another village. Oh, I see. President Goo is saying that there's a whole lot of people at the venue, so the ghosts won't come to catch him. Just wait a moment. You mentioned earlier you witnessed a shocking scene in the morning. Exactly. According to your testimony, the defendant didn't spend much time with the body. Then you ran to the 188th floor. Could there already be too many people in the multifunction hall? As I ventured into the hall, there were but a few attendants and a maiden bearing a basket. But in terms of warding off spirits, it was more than enough. A maiden bearing a basket? Definitely Mooney. After hearing Galaxy's confession to murder, Mooney immediately came to the multifunction hall. President Goose witnessing Galaxy's handling the body must have happened after that. The timeline is right.
Wait a sec.
You didn't go to the opposite area of the rooftop, yet you saw how he disposed of the body. Though old in years, I do place great faith in my sight. As the man laid down the body, he seemed to be muttering words. Afterward, he turned to leave. Had I not fled in time, he might have taken notice to my presence. So, you're saying Galaxy laid down Kujio's body on the rooftop and immediately left? Chief, something seems a bit strange in President Gyu's testimony, right? Indeed, the actions he witnessed seem to be not enough. Is he lying or did he simply misremember? Chief, I can barely understand what President Goose said, so I rely on you. You should spend more time studying. I watch plenty of TV dramas, but people there never talk like this. I am speechless. Though President Goose's testimony is hard to follow, his key info is clear. He doesn't seem like a spoiler. Seems he's not lying, but in what circumstances would his words be true but not aligned to the facts?
Objection!
Cables, okay. Witness, let me confirm again. After the defendant put down the body, he turned around to leave, right? Indeed. Do you, counsel, have any other insights? If your testimony is true, it would show a huge contradiction in the reality. A contradiction I do not comprehend. Please explain. Witness, since you participated in the ribbon-cutting ceremony, like us, you must have witnessed the body falling from a height. The reason why the victim's body was suspended in such a strange manner is that her arms were wrapped in cables. Wait a minute, are you saying? Exactly. If the defendant immediately left after putting down the body, he couldn't have tied the body with cable. Huh? What was that? You fucked up? So, witness, I must ask you solemnly, did the defendant really not touch the cables near the water heater? With thy guidance, I too now see that something's amiss. But as for what I do not see, I cannot speak falsehoods. I am certain that the defendant did not touch the cables. Order. Order! I'm a bit confused now. If the defendant didn't use the cables to tie the body, how was she suspended there? Even I cannot fathom the mystery myself. What do you all think? President Gyu's tone is sincere, and he's clearly helping us. He's not lying. Let's think carefully about the contradiction. It might bring a whole new perspective to the case. Your Honor, let me try to speculate. The conclusion that can explain this contradiction is I think the only reasonable explanation is that after the defendant left the rooftop, another person came to tie the cables. Another person? When the defendant put down the body and left the rooftop, the only witness, President Gyu, also went to the multifunction hall. From that moment to the body fell from the rooftop. The rooftop area was empty. Anyone could have come up to the defendant's dumping site without being noticed and tied the body with cables.
Objection!
This is absurd. Tell us, who is this person? The information we currently have is not enough to identify this person. Let us set the identity matter aside. How do you explain their purpose of tying the body with cable? He's freaky. I don't know. Indeed. I wanted to suggest that this person came to the rooftop after the defendant had major suspicions. But if this person is the real culprit, he didn't need to do such an unfavorable thing. It seems like I've accidentally led myself to a dead end. Wait, I have yet one word to share. Might I ask you all to listen? Witness, do you have more to say? Yes, before I reached the rooftop, I experienced some strangeness. I have not considered them earlier, but after Counsel Drake mentioned the possibility of a third party to the rooftop, now that it seemeth that these matters may hold some manner of connection. That's good. Please tell us right away. This matter must begin with my actions earlier that morning. When I did arrive at the center and took the lift onto the function hall, I accidentally pressed the button for the 99th floor. I am a person of whim, and having such opportunity, thus resolved to venture forth and discern. Yet upon arrival, I found myself sorely disappointed, for beyond the lift there stood but a shut glass door. At that moment, I heard a loud noise behind the glass afore me, and besides, a slight stir akin to the sound of footsteps. Fearing it might be a ghost, I grew terrified and fled to the lift, pressing the button in haste. You know, if I had like a nickel for every like case that had a person scared as shit running to the lift, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not much, but like, it's weird that it happened twice in this game. I mean, as the lift arrived, I hastily entered and pressed a random button, only to encounter yet another dread scene. Footsteps and a loud noise from the 99th floor? Prosecutor Ray, what is that? I wish I knew. Witness, when we questioned you before the trial, you never mentioned the 99th floor. Why did you deliberately hide crucial information from the police during questioning? Please do not be angry. It was only after the council's inquiries that I realized this experience might be related to the case. Before that, I had dismissed it as a fleeting auditory illusion. I thought nothing of it. Chief, this witness went to the 99th floor. I thought that place had nothing to do with the case. Me too. However, it seems he brought quite unexpected information for us. Prosecutor Ray, what's on the 99th floor of this building? The 99th floor is yet to be opened. The American consulate, like he said in his testimony, the door is closed. How to open the door? Credentials and password. What? Since it's an important foreign affairs institution, you need the credentials and of consulate officials to activate the door panel. Then you need to enter a password known only to consulate staff. You need both credentials and password? This is so complicated. What do you think, defense? We still can't be sure if the sound of the witness heard was related to the case. To clear everyone's doubts, let me start questioning. Counsel Drake, I am at your service.
Wait a sec.
You say pressing the rooftop button was an accident, and now the 99th floor was also unintentional? There are too many coincidences, huh? I am thou, and thou art I. Thou art mistaken. 'Twas a strange encounter upon the 99th floor that frightened me to hastily press the button for the rooftop. There was indeed some fated reason for my arrival at the 99th floor. Then must you make clear your meaning. Upon my arrival at the center, I chanced upon a young fellow. When a friend arrives, a warm welcome is due. This young fellow is fond of calligraphy and may have heard of my name. He requested I write something for him. What does this have to do with your ascent to the 99th floor? At the time, I wrote a sentence, where there's a will, there's a way, and bestowed them upon the young fellow. And as I rode the elevator, I recalled the calligraphy I had just crafted, gesturing and silently contemplating. To my surprise, I accidentally touched the button, lighting the path to the 99th floor. Is that so? Although this explanation is a bit far-fetched, it kinda makes sense.
Wait a sec.
Besides the construction personnel, everyone should be visiting the building for the first time. Why did you decide to explore an unfamiliar floor? Tis oft said, time flies like a snap of the fingers, and golden moments must be fully enjoyed. I don't get it. Me neither. As I mentioned earlier, the path was lit by chance, a fateful occurrence. At the time, the event was still half an hour away. Time was plenty. Given such an opportunity, I naturally wished to wander around at will. Did you know what lay upon the 99th floor? Verily, when I received the invitation, it included an introduction to this grand building, mentioning the new American consulate. At the time, I sought to observe the visage of this freshly built consulate. A reasonable idea indeed. I never expected that a master of traditional literature like you would find interest in such a modern institute. Embassies and consulates have existed since an ancient times. They are not merely contemporary institutions, but...
Wait a sec.
The consulate is not in use yet, so of course it doesn't let in. Didn't you expect that? Nay, I was wholly absorbed in thought of calligraphy at the time, and had not considered this floor at all. A grave oversight. The security on that glass door is quite stringent. Did you attempt to open it? 'Tis oft said, what is gained on paper is shallow. True knowledge comes from personal experience. I don't get it. I guess it means he tried to? Me neither. I once heard someone expound upon the works of such systems, yet the practice was another matter entirely. I did strive for a moment to no avail, and thus was compelled to give up. That door requires the credentials and passwords from the staff to open, so it won't work even if you try for years.
Wait a sec.
Can you elaborate on this loud noise? As for the loud noise, I do not know for certain, but it seemed like the sound of a heavy object striking some metal structure. So you mean it wasn't a gunshot? I attended the soldiers' shooting drills and heard the gunshots. This noise, however, is distinctly unlike gunfire. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? A promise is worth its weight in gold, and a heart of jade holds true up to its words. I adhere to the path of honesty. But if it wasn't a gunshot, what could it be? Shut up, phone. Hearing is better than not hearing. Seeing is better than hearing. I know not the truth, thus I dare not speak lightly. Ugh. If the sound came from behind the glass door, which is inside the consulate, even the prosecution lacks the authority to enter. No evidence shows the 99th floor related to the case until now. The prosecution won't break into a foreign affairs office. Then, can you describe the footsteps after the loud noise? I do find myself somewhat perplexed. The sound was faint and brief, and I no longer recall it clearly. So he heard banging and footsteps from behind the glass door, is that right?
Wait a sec.
There were only some noises and no supernatural sightings. Why would you link it to ghosts? I knew that the center was newly opened that day. Though each story's purpose might differ, none had yet been brought to use. Therefore, this 99th floor was likewise. There should have been no one therein at the time. That's true. The prosecution has asked if the consulate staff, and indeed this new office has not been put to use. In this place where no one should be, a loud noise arose, and I, ever sensitive to ghosts and demons, grew fearful. How could I not harbor suspicions of the presence of ghosts therein? You know, all this talk about makes me kind of scared. I'm gonna turn on the lights. Okay. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I just like... Okay. So your immediate reaction was to quickly turn around and press the elevator button? Verily, at that moment I was too frightened to even speak loudly lest I disturb the spirits. This is a place of trouble, and staying would have been unwise. Swift departure was the best course of action. He's really scared of ghosts. Well, so am I.
Wait a sec.
How long did it take from the time you pressed the button to the arrival of the elevator? Only for a fleeting moment. The lift had remained in place due to my earlier use. So, while you were on the 99th floor, the elevator wasn't called by anyone else. Verily, in my fright, I pressed a random button, seeking swift escape. To my surprise, I stumbled into an otherworldly domain, where the lift doors opened. I beheld yet another majestic sight. You mean seeing Galaxy moving the body, right? In that case, this witness is really unlucky. The witness heard strange noises from the interior of the 99th floor, where there shouldn't have been anyone. This piece of information must be related to the case in some way, but it's very difficult to know how. Chief, before we analyze further, I feel like there's something wrong about President Yu's testimony. I got caught up in the third-party involvement. in the cable's tying that I forgot the most important thing. Ha ha, I have my moments. Aside from the useful information, there's still a strange contradiction in President Gu's testimony. To get closer to the truth, let's resolve the issue first. Oh!
Objection!
Well, that table slam was a bit delayed, but okay. Hold it! Witness! What you said in your testimony seems a bit off, right? According to your testimony, you said you heard the sound coming from inside the 99th floor. Glass door. Verily, is there something amiss in this account? It's strange because according to our investigation, the glass door of the consulate is incredibly thick and clearly soundproof. Soundproof glass? If there were exceptionally loud noises inside, you might have felt vibrations standing outside the door. But in your testimony, you also mentioned hearing footsteps, which is absolutely impossible. What an oversight! Order. Order! Witness, can you explain it? This... Witness, was your testimony just now a lie? No way. The prosecution has investigated the glass door, whose soundproofing capabilities are even better than Mr. Drake imagined. Not to mention, even if someone detonated a bomb inside, there wouldn't be any sound heard from outside. That's amazing. The witness couldn't have heard any of these so-called noises. Mr. Gu, forgive me, but are you perhaps confusing reality with your dreams from last night? The court is a hollowed stead. Wherefore there I spoke not untruly. Mine testimony, without any falsehood, stands firm and true. Then tell us, how did you hear the sounds through that thick, soundproof door? Chief, we saw the glass door yesterday during the investigation. If President Q was not mistaken, he must be lying, right? In the usual thought process, we would indeed come to that conclusion. But if we step out of that framework and think from a different angle, maybe there'll be unexpected results. Are you saying President Q might not be mistaken nor lying? What am I to do? Even without verity, lads, I can sense the sincerity in this guy's eyes. He seems to have some unspoken secret that's preventing him from revealing the whole truth. If President Gu really heard the floor from the 99th floor interior... Your Honor, although this witness's attitude is commendable, the prosecution believes his memory is somewhat distorted. To continue the trial, perhaps it's time to best let him rest and leave the courtroom.
Objection!
Prosecutor Ray, isn't your conclusion a bit premature? I don't think this witness's memory is the least bit distorted. How? Are you gonna mess around again? The soundproof glass door is a hard fact. The existence of a glass door is true, but have you considered that, under normal circumstances, it might not be soundproof? I don't get how that makes sense, but okay, sure. What? There are many possibilities leading to the situation. I need to carefully consider which one is the truth. The defense believes that President Gu was able to hear the interior of the 99th floor because... the glass door of the 99th floor was open at the time. Oh? Why are you so indifferent? What What reaction do you want from me? Haven't you seen an automatic door before? Not to mention how to open that heavily sealed door, even if it were opened, it would immediately close within a few seconds. So you mean the witness happened to hear the aforementioned sound within a few seconds? Are you serious? Maybe the door was malfunctioning at the time? Or maybe there was a power outage in the building or something. This is a newly completed building. How could there be a malfunction on the day of the ribbon cutting ceremony? Shit happens. Well, it seems like you totally beat me. Quite impressive. Shit. He was inside the 99th floor at the time. If he was inside the consulate, naturally there would be no obstacles. In the empty consulate, any sound would be heard clearly.
Nonsense!
Engage your brain before opening your mouth, okay? Did you forget about the security system at the entrance?
Objection!
The security system is indeed strict, but it's not entirely impossible to open.
Objection!
The prosecution just said, opening the glass door requires both staff credentials and a passport. The only ones who can meet both conditions are the staff of the American consulate. Open your ears and take a good look. There were no Americans on the guest list that day.
Objection!
Americans don't necessarily need an American name. All US ambassadors to our country have had catchy names. Nonsense! If you insist it was the consulate staff who opened the door, prove it! Easy. Huh. I know you have no— wait, what? Although I'm not entirely sure, we have indeed obtained evidence to prove the consulate's door might have been opened. Here it is.
Take this.
What's this? This is a passport. Specifically, a passport from the United States. The United States? Where did you find it? This passport was lying quietly on the floor of the stairwell on the 189th floor. The 189th floor leads to the rooftop. The owner of the passport is named David Johnson, who, from the appearance, seems to be a typical American. If my speculation is correct, this person is likely an official from the American consulate. This person not only possesses the credentials to open the door, but also is a staff member and actually knows the door's password.
Objection!
There's no such person on the guest list for the event. What could the passport prove? Even if this David Johnson is indeed a consulate official, he was never present at the scene. Chief, do you have any thoughts? I've been wondering about this passport since yesterday. Yeah, Prosecutor Ray is correct. Since the incident, the police immediately sealed off the scene, and no one could leave. Neither we nor the police found a blonde-haired and blue-eyed American. But on the other hand, if this American wasn't at the scene, there would be no way to open the glass door of the 99th floor. And since a passport is such an important item, there's no reason for this person to lend it to someone else. So Mr. Johnson did come to the scene, but wasn't noticed by anyone. Came to the scene but wasn't noticed by anyone. I have an astounding idea. What is it? This can't be true, can it? Considering all the information so far, it's the only possibility, even though this conclusion is incredibly absurd. Defense, you're whispering again. Do you have something to say about the owner of the passport? The defense believes the owner of this passport was indeed present at the time of the incident. What? But Mr. David Johnson's appearance slightly differs from that on the passport, making it hard to identify. That's an interesting idea. So tell me, what does Mr. Johnson look like? The true... Jake Marshall? Wait, what? That name sounds so familiar. Wait, is it David Johnson or Jake Marshall? Wait a minute, is this the reason why they got DMCA'd? Like, David Johnson, now it's Jake Marshall. I am so confused, right? And this says Jake Marshall here, but then here it's David Johnson. I don't know, man. The true appearance of Jake Marshall. Okay, no, I have to double check this. Is Jake Marshall in Ace Attorney? That name sounds like it's someone from Ace Attorney. Jake Marshall. Yeah! There's a character called Jake Marshall in Ace Attorney. Is this actually why they got DMCA'd? Okay, this is gonna be wacky as shit.
Take this.
Isn't that the witness? Let's recall the testimony from President Q. He went to the Skyrim Trade Center and headed to the 99th floor. Then he heard loud noises and steps inside the 99th floor. As a master of traditional literature, these actions seem very out of place. However, if President Q's true identity is an official of the American consulate, all his actions will be reasonable. You mean he came to inspect the consulate's news site as a staff member? The witness, after hearing the noise, rushed to the rooftop and left quickly for fear of being discovered by the defendants. This passport probably dropped at the time. Wait, hold on. I understand all the reasons, but this witness clearly looks the least like a foreigner among all of us. Order! Order! The witness recites Chinese poetry and writes beautiful characters. It's hard to believe, but it's the only reasonable inference. It's very simple to verify this. Witness, are you listening? Sure. In the hall of law, dare I not be slothful? Then could you also take off your hat and sunglasses? When false is taken for true, true becomes false. If non-being turns into being, being becomes non-being. I understand. Worthy art thou of Counsel Drake. Thy performance is indeed impressive. Bitch. Gotcha. This might be like, oh my goodness, you should be arrested right now. This is low-key perjury. Hail to all, may ye be in good health. My name is David Johnson. Then who the fuck is Jake Marshall, huh? Jake Marshall, David Johnson, the fucking passport, Jake Marshall, David Johnson. Guys, this actually legitimately the reason for the DMCA? You know, the thing is, yeah, they got a DMCA strike or something like that. And seeing how there's a lot of shoddy work involving the changing of this guy's name, like Jake Marshall, but then you click in it, David Johnson, and then here, David Johnson, and then Jake Marshall. I legitimately think that that is the reason. Oh my goodness. What? Oh, what? Huh? What? Order. Order! But witness, why do you? This is really surprising. I have searched far and wide for this passport, yet not found it not. But lo, the council hath found it.
Objection!
No way! How could someone like you be the vice president of the Chinese Poetry Association? On the list of association, there is indeed a person named Gu Gaoge, the Lucian hermit. We are very sure it's the witness. This identity is verily true. Gu Gaoge is my name in this country. But you once swore in the name of your father who fought valiantly in the Korean War. How do you explain that? Mine father verily was an American soldier who fought in the Korean War. Swearing by his name what issue could there be? But why hide your American identity? Council is unaware. Mine father, stranded in your noble country due to the war many decades ago, led to my birth in this island. The lore of this land hath been mine, heart's delight all my life, a love forgotten even after mine return to statecraft there. Our culture indeed is vast and profound. Did you decide to take a job in the consulate to return here because of this? Yes, that's right. However, thy realm's culture research organizations have never taken in a foreigner. So to steep myself in mine passion and mingle with the folk, I was compelled to don this guise in mine daily life. It's the first time I've seen someone mix several modern and ancient languages like this. I never heard of such a thing. Prosecution. How could you not even get the nationality and identity of the witness right? This is indeed our oversight. The witness's name and vice president's identity are both confirmed. And the habit of wearing a hat and sunglasses is also corroborated by several members of the Chinese Poetry Association. I think perhaps even they don't know the true appearance of President Gu. The witness is a well-known public figure, and the trial was approaching in no time. So the police did not check his certificates. So President Gu, or should I say Mr. Johnson? I am at a loss for how to address you. The scattered flowers gradually dazzle the eyes, while the shallow grass barely hides the hooves of a horse. Take it easy. I am who I am. The titles matter not. So, President Gu, do you have access to the consulate? You have access to the consulate, right? Bingo. Nay, rather say I did enter the place where I work on the day. I hold the position of Vice President of the Poetry Association here. However, in my homeland, I also serve as the envoy to China. On that day, I did journey to the trade center with intent to survey the new site for the consulate and plan to the relocation there. So apart from you, is there anyone else who can enter the American consulate on the 99th floor. Save for myself, only my colleague are privy. However, on that day, they were all engaged to our old premises, far distant. However, moreover, our nation's halls of power doth stand a strong guardian, known as the Iris Recognition System. The IRS? What's that? Iris Recognition System, a more accurate identity authentication than fingerprint recognition. So even if someone obtains the credentials and the password, they couldn't possibly open the door? Verily. To conceal my identity, I altered certain details of my experience, for which I almost now offer my sincerest apologies. Perjury! Now that my true identity is laid bare, there is no longer any need for any further concealment. Witness, why do you still insist on your account for hearing loud noises and footsteps? In the court, I shall utter no falsehoods. My prior concealment has caused you much wasted time. I shall make amends for this fault and restore to you all the truth. Bitch. Little did I expect that my identity would be uncovered in court. Everyone did a good job. However, I have not uttered a single falsehood. I did indeed hear a faint sound on the 99th floor. Upon that day, I went to the 99th floor to inspect the new site for the consulate and to take photographs for my report. Upon hearing the consulate, suddenly, from the dark depths of the corridor, there came a mighty noise. Footsteps, all at once. Before my arrival, the door had no means of opening. To claim that another could have entered, impossible. Thus, I feared that this matter pertained to spirits and dared not linger. I quickly turned and fled towards the elevator. The witness's testimony became even more confusing after being mixed with modern English. I'm sorry. Prithee, forgive me for the confusion. President Yu had no motive to conceal anything just now. This time he must be telling the truth, right? Earlier, I was loath to speak of the internal matter of the consulate, for I wished not to reveal mine identity. Now that the matter has come to light, I shall dare not speak a single falsehood. I implore you all to judge the truth fairly. The witness speaks with such firmness. What are the opinions of both sides? The prosecution believes the witness no longer has any motive to lie, but we still have reservations about this testimony. The 99th floor has no direct connection to the case, and the noise the witness heard wouldn't affect the 101st floor. Makes sense. Your Honor, according to the testimony of Mooney Beans, the victim should have arrived on the 101st floor around 8 a.m. At the time when President Yu heard the loud noise and took the elevator to leave should be very close to this moment. Though I can't recall the exact hour, I did set forth at 8 a.m. to the consulate for inspection, and it should not differ by much. Based on the timing, the two events should happen close together, so we can't rule out that connection. That also makes sense. Well then, let the defense begin the questioning.
Wait a sec.
How long have you been hiding your identity? I only conceal my identity when attending the association events. Whilst in ordinary times, I am garbed in a suit as is customary. How long have you been a member of the Chinese Poetry Association? The clouds in the pool drift, the stars resolve, the autumn comes and goes. If memory serves, it's been 10 years or so. 10 years? You've been hiding your identity all this time? That's incredible! Damn, 10 years. As a traveler, one faces many hardships. Since the association does not accept foreign members, I resorted to this disguise. I was invited to the ribbon-cutting ceremony under the name of Guoge, Lucian Hermit, not as the American envoy, David Johnson. Had I adopted another guise in court, my identity would have been instantly revealed to the public, so I had no choice. What are you afraid of now that you're vice president? From what I understand, the witness is highly respected in the Chinese Poetry Association for his character and talent. If any members look down on you because of your identity, my fists will not forgive them. Thank thee. I did but give unclear testimonies to conceal mine visage, and I want to beg pardon for ye all. I am truly sorry. No need. Just testify truthfully. I don't know why, but even though Mr. President Yu lied, I can't be angry with him. Maybe because he's truly respectable.
Wait a sec.
How have you been hiding your identity? Oh. Oops.
Wait a sec.
Can you be certain it wasn't a hallucination? Though I am over 50 years of age, my health remains robust, and I have never suffered from auditory hallucinations. The sound was real, I am sure of it. Could it be you were startled and misheard? The witness had just arrived at the 99th floor at the time, and nothing had just happened. What could have startled him? That's true.
Wait a sec.
Inspecting the consulate's new location and taking photos to report back. Was that your task for the day? Nay, I attended the ceremony under the guise of Lucian Hermit. Inspecting the consulate was not part of my official duty. However, since I was already there, I thought it's prudent to inspect the office, as it is my responsibility as the envoy. Feels like there are many points of concern in this testimony. Perhaps it'd be best to ask more questions. Could you provide more details about the consulate's new location? This site was chosen by the American headquarters, not me. To my knowledge, the office occupies 4.5 acres with a total of 17 rooms, taking up an entire floor of the trade center. It's his first visit, yet he seems remarkably well informed about the details. The consulate has not yet opened. Only basic renovations have been completed, and the furniture has not been moved in. If all goes as planned, the renovation commences next week, and mine colleagues and I shall move in 5 months hence. Okay, ask something else. Could you please elaborate on your contents of your inspection? Understood. The American headquarters chose this site, but the building is just completed, and my colleagues haven't visited it. The inspection has two aims: to confirm the structure for planning furniture fitting and to inspect security deployment. And what is the conclusion? How many security personnel do you think are needed for the consulate? It is a matter for the consulate, but since I am here in court, divulging a few details should not be of great consequence. The first floor lobby of the Trade Center already has a large police presence. The consulate requires no additional guards. Despite such security, there's still a murder on the top floor. That doesn't seem very useful. Okay. Could you provide some details about the content you intended to photograph and report? This is a matter of shame. I intended to photograph the consulate's interior for my colleagues in select furnishings. Yet, though I'm skilled with the pen, I am utterly ignorant in electronic devices. My camera was borrowed from a colleague. Perhaps due to an error in its settings, I failed to capture a single usable photograph. Hey Alex! Someone needs you! Not a single one. Was the lens cap still on? I doubt President Yu will be so incompetent. While I may not be as proficient as Alex Zhang, I still understand the basic functions of a DSLR camera. We'll have to inspect his camera to find out why he couldn't take any photos. What to do? If we ask the witness for the camera, he could immediately end the questioning. Not now.
Wait a sec.
Let me confirm. You heard these sounds inside the consulate, right? Verily, I was in the midst of inspecting the new site, and the sounds came from around the corner. Since the source of the sound was in the same space as you, could you describe it in more detail? I've already recounted all I know. The loud noise, perhaps being caused by metal being struck? As for the footsteps, I truly do not have a clear memory of them. Metal being struck? What kind of sound is that exactly? It's hard to imagine.
Wait a sec.
Our colleagues clearly wouldn't have gone there. But could there be others who have the authority to enter? I am puzzled. Please explain. I mean, could it be the construction workers or high-ranking officers with investigative authority?
Objection!
Diplomatic institutions aren't child's play. Strictly speaking, the consulate is not even considered our country's territory. Even the chief prosecutor or minister of public security would have gone through complex procedures if they wanted to enter. The construction workers left the city months ago, so they certainly wouldn't be involved. In that case, the lockdown of this access control becomes absolute. Besides Goo Gaga, okay. I can't pronounce the name. I'm just gonna call him Goo. There couldn't be a second person with the authority to open the door. Then why did he hear those sounds?
Wait a sec.
Did you investigate towards the source of the sound to see what was making it? To my shame, I was terrified that I nearly lost my wits. If I had recklessly investigated and my soul was seized by ghosts, you all would have faced another mystery case. Well, if you were truly spirited away... Oh my god. He said it! Okay. If you were truly spirited away by ghosts, it would indeed be difficult for the court to prosecute the perpetrator. The judge is actually deep in thought. Should I say he's off topic or dedicated?
Wait a sec.
Oops. Although we discovered the true identity of President Gu, it seems the situation hasn't changed much. After all, witnessing the defendant banging on the door with the body is more convincing than hearing some indescribable noise. At least you know the witness did enter the consulate, and the noise indeed came from within. If only President Gu could present some convincing evidence. But he didn't even see anything, let alone the evidence. Not necessarily. There might be something we haven't considered. Let's question him more carefully. Okay, back here. Witness, do you have the camera you carried with you that day? This is an object borrowed from a comrade, which I carry with me at all times. I'm not sure if you borrowed it at that point. It feels like you just stole it. Could you please bring it out? Perhaps there's some useful information inside. Last eve I did inspect it, finding the camera's photo repository utterly vacant. I thought the device might have malfunctioned. If Miss Counsel knows how to repair or adjust it, that would be most helpful. Oh, I didn't expect the witness's camera to be good. A newly released DSLR camera from the latter half of last year. Typical American generosity. So have you found anything? Just as President Gu mentioned, there's not a single photo in the gallery. This is quite baffling. President Gu, how did you operate the camera at the time? At the time, the consulate interior was dimly lit, with the cameras covered with the light shields. I heard that in such a setting, one must adjust the aperture and shutter speed and other intricacies. As for how to make the adjustments, I know not. I simply pressed a few buttons at random. He likes to press buttons randomly, man. It's commendable that you remember those fancy words. Even if I had it, I wouldn't know how to handle it. And then what happened when you took the photo? At mine pressing the shutter button, there arose no sound at the shutter. Aught. You randomly switched the mode, pressed the shutter and there was no click? Ah, I get it. You must have set the camera to video mode. Video? Let me see. Indeed, there's a video in the memory card that you captured at the time. What? A video? Order. Order! Such an important clue! Defense, play it! No problem. Don't tell me there's gonna be a video here. Okay. This is such a nice video, by the way, guys. You can see so much happening. You can see, like, I don't know, this pig-looking motherfucker on the screen. Oh wait, no, that's my face. Oops. Yeah, I just see my reflection. Ugh. There's a lot of acne, huh? This is the video captured by the witness? How should I put it? It seems the witness indeed failed to adjust the camera settings, making it impossible to capture anything in dim light. What a waste of effort. I'm verily sorry for my inability to lend aid at all. I'm sorry that the court cannot treat such a video as evidence. If the witness has nothing more to say, you may retire.
Wait a sec.
Hold it. If I understand correctly, a so-called video should have just contained images, right? What do you mean by that? Cameras will record the recording sound as well. Let me play it again. I'll max out the volume this time. Clang. Buzz buzz. Tap tap tap. What? Whew. Feels like hitting the jackpot. Anyway. He was like, wow. Wow. That was a close call. If I got that wrong, I would have looked like a dumbass. Anyway, we have dodged a bullet today. Your Honor, you heard that. Huh. The sound of an unknown heavy object hitting metal, followed by footsteps, completely matches his testimony. But between the sound of impact and footsteps, there seems to be a strange buzzing noise. Witness, is the sound we played what you heard that day? Right. Upon the name of my father, who fought valiantly in the Korean War, I swear that this is the video in the consulate. This is a sound in the consulate that day. Order. These sounds, they actually existed, but what do they mean?
Objection!
Even if the witness's testimony is confirmed, it doesn't prove these strange sounds are related to the case. The witnesses also saw the defendant, Galaxy Kaida, disposing of the body. That's the point of this case.
Objection!
This disposal of the body by the defendant is indeed important, and the defense never denies his suspicious behavior. However, the 99th floor in the Skyrim Trade Center is a sealed space that no one except President Gyu could enter. The significance of these sounds is greater than what meets the eye.
Objection!
Don't use vague statements to mystify the situation. What do the sounds prove? It's simple. They imply there may be at least one more unexpected intruder on the 99th floor. Intruder? Yes. The premise of all arguments since the trial began is that the crime scene is towering and inaccessible. If there is a way to intrude a sealed space, like the 99th floor, the 101st floor could also be intruded. We know that while the glass door on the 99th floor is strictly controlled, it can be easily opened from the inside. Imagine it. If the owner of footsteps on the 99th floor went to the 101st after President Gyu left and killed the victim, and left the building using some unknown method, then the police blockade of the building would become meaningless. You! Order. Witness, please recall again. Did you encounter any sussy individuals before or after you went to the 99th floor? The 99th floor is my homeland's domain. I reckon none dare approach it rashly. Wait a minute. What? I just remembered something that may be relevant to the case. What is it? Owing to my fright at the time, I had not thought of it, but after careful recollection, it seems it indeed happened. Whilst I hastily descended from the rooftop, I encountered Mr. Justice. Mr. Justice? Do you mean Justice Kaida, the Vice President of Neon? Verily, I have met him afore in a diplomatic event. Thus do I know this man. It's not surprising that Mr. Justice, invited to the ceremony, would go to the multifunction hall on the 188th floor. If Mr. Justice was in the multifunction hall, this matter would be of little import. However, in mine eyes, Mr. Justice was walking towards the staircase where I stood, seeming to have the intent of the ascending to the roof. Did he go up because of some noise or some premeditation? Meditation, I don't know. Is there anything else you wish to add? That is all. All that I know hath been laid bare. In that case, witness, You may retire. I thank thee all for thy understanding. Should I be of any further use, I shall surely come forth to lend aid. Looking back at the desolate place, I return, where there is neither wind nor rain, nor clear skies. In a height nearly 100 floors above ground, infiltrating from the outside into a place surrounded by bulletproof glass. Without the video and audio evidence provided by the witness, I would have never believed it. But now, with testimony and evidence in place, the court must carefully consider the possibility raised by the defense. Defense, do you have any clues regarding this potential intruder? We haven't investigated the 99th floor yet, so it's too early to talk about clues. The idea of entering such a high floor from the outside is simply absurd. Indeed, whether by helicopter or rappelling from higher floors, it's too fantastical. Yeah, I'm turning off my lights. Okay, now I'm turning them back on. Fuck. Thanks, Goo. More like Goo Goo Gaga. Now I feel like I'm a Goo Goo Gaga. Now I feel like a Goo Goo Gaga. Fuck. If no one can answer from the outside, could someone have been hiding from the 99th floor on the day before the ceremony? But that's an empty space without food or water. Plus, entering an unfinished building isn't easy. Well, since neither side has any leads, allow me to express the court's opinion. Whilst the foreign affairs want this case resolved quickly, considering the current circumstances, today's trial must end for now. Is there really a possibility of an intruder on the 99th floor of the Skyrim Trade Center? If someone did linger on the 99th floor, what is the true identity? And what is the connection between the defendant and the victim? If he is the murderer, what is his motive? These questions are left for both sides to investigate. Understood. Well then. Then I declare this case is adjourned from now until tomorrow. Was that a gunshot? Oh dear God, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I'm not gonna be ready for this, huh? Who's there? Who else could it be? Kujo, what are you doing here? What? Wait, what? Do I need to report my whereabouts to you? Since you're here, I have a lot of questions for you. I have no obligation to answer any of your questions. And don't you think you came too late? Ever since Tryons betrayed us, the heads have been dying one after another, and now even I'm not safe. But as long as Callens is safe, I really don't care. Who is this Callens exactly? Why are you sacrificing so many lives to protect him? Wait, what is going on? Don't make me repeat myself. I have no obligation to answer any of your questions. Your time is up. You'll no longer have the chance to pursue the truth. Hey, wait a minute! Don't go! What the fuck just happened? A dream? Oh, it's a dream. A nightmare. I investigated for 2 days, and after enduring today's trial with Chief, I fell asleep as soon as I got back to the office. Erica Kuchia was someone I could never forgive. But I just found out in court this morning that she's already dead. The mystery of incident number 761 is still unresolved, and Annie has left me in the recent incident. If this is a nightmare, I really wish someone would pinch me hard so I could wake up. Forget it. Let's see if Chief is still here. He wouldn't leave me here and investigate by himself, would he? Chief? 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 Whoa, you scared me to death. Isn't that surprising? I just stood up from the sofa under your nose. Why did you sleep again? Why did you fall asleep again? I've just been so tired these past few days. Did I shout something just now? Yeah, it seems like a terrible nightmare. You were shouting for a long time. Shall I shout in more than one sentence? If I hadn't seen you sleeping so soundly, I would have thought the Vice President brought his men here again. Yeah, it's all his fault. Not only did he mess up our investigation, but he made me sleep like a log. I don't think the second part has anything to do with him. Anyway, let's focus on the case. Okay. There were many new pieces of evidence in court today. We need to prepare for the investigation. Well, that was weird. Well, turns out that the Vice President of the Poetry Association is an American guy. You know, that's kind of like if in Japan, like the Vice President of the Anime Association was also an American. Like, yeah, very weird, but okay, sure. Yeah, not much happened, I guess. I mean, now we know that someone has access. Maybe he's like the Among Us imposter, just going through the vents or something. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see later on. Also, I hope Charles doesn't die. Because, wait, is it Charlie or Charles? I hope Charlie doesn't die. Because it seems like Justice might actually be the guy, Justice Kaida. What? I think he's the murderer. So, Justice might be like, this guy is too close to the truth. I need to end him. And then he's gonna like shoot the guy, or he's gonna like shoot Charlie or something, I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. I want Charlie to live, man. I mean, you know how many presidential assassinations and whatnot happened, so it's plausible. I really hope not, though. And I hope Luna doesn't get affected either. But yeah, it might happen. Justice Kaida, you sussy baka. And what next? You're gonna tell me that Justice Kaida is Callan's? Well, anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching my playthrough of Trials of Innocence. And if you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome. Good night.